going on, APA fans? It is your boy Pointblanke. Today people are here for the Season 6 APA Season 6 pre-draft power rankings. You guys saw these last year with Kyle for Season 5. He did pre-draft, he did for the returning coaches and the newbies, and then just kind of stopped because work, was too busy and he couldn't keep up with it. So after Season 5, your boy has decided to step down, and I've decided to take an analyst spot this season. I'm going to hold this analyst spot, and I'm going to judge all of your favorite coaches. I'm going to judge them all and tell them how bad they are. Because we all know they're all trash. Just kidding. Love them all. So yeah, this season is huge competition. Very similar lineup to last season, but we have some very new additions, some very competitive additions. I'm pretty sure we have a couple drops, but for the most part, we have a very similar roster to last season. And this season, I'm sorry if you guys heard that. I'm very excited for this season. I'm very excited to see how everyone uses the Gen 7 mons, the new mechanics, the new abilities, moves, items, yada 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 yada. So, let me run down the lineup for you guys, and then we'll jump into power ranking. So, leading off the lineup, we have your two favorite commissioners. We got Panther 2, coach of the Carolina Clefables, and we have Mightykus, coach of the Boston Meadrows. We have Carson, coach of the Arizona Diamond Storms. We have Elite 4 Dan, who is responsible for all the art you are seeing in this video, coach of the Adelson Ampharos. We have Corey, aka Bandit Caterpie, coach of the he was Carolina Caterpies, and now I don't know what his new team name is, but the new team name is on the screen when it comes up, so I'll reference to it when we get back. We got Hugo, the Season 5 champion. Hugo, coach of the Montreal Monfernos. We have Jock, coach of the Dunfermline Newtons. We got, after leaving last season, she is back. We have Pokegirl Sarah Bear, coach of the Joliet Lycanrocs. We got Mad Archer, coach of the Tennessee Trevenants. Frostfire, coach of the Irvine Infernapes. Cloud Nimbus, coach of the Nashville Infernapes. And General Tar Heel, coach of the Charlotte Carbinks. So those are the 12 that are returning from last season. And then we got 4 new peoples joining us this season. We got Scotty Dr. Pepper, coach of the Houston Rockets. We got Professor Chewy, coach of the Bellevue Farfetched. We got Dylan, also known as the Grafey, coach of the Adelaide Bolt Strikers. And then we have Dr. Piplup, coach of the New England Piplups. So, with the lineup, you guys already heard the lineup. Let's get into our pre-draft power rankings. First thing I want to say before I even jump into the bottom half is 12, 13, no. 13, 14, 15, 16, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I have the new coaches at 13, 14, 15, 16 because I haven't really seen any of the new coaches battle. I've seen Scotty, I've seen a little bit of Dylan, I haven't seen Chewy in singles, and I've never even talked to Piplup in my life, so that's why they're put in the bottom there. So, just looking at it right now, number 16 we have New England Piplups and Dr. Piplup. I've never talked to Piplup in my life, he kind of just showed up, so I can't really judge him on anything. Number 15, we have Bellevue Farfetch and Professor Chewy. I've seen a little bit of Chewy's singles. He's still learning. I've seen some of his doubles. He's still learning. He's still learning battling, but I can't dog him for that. He's still a new coach, so we'll see as the weeks progress how he fares in the competition with some of the big dogs. Number 14, we have the Adelaide Bull Strikers and Coach DeGrafey. Dylan, I think I've battled Dylan once, and I did beat him. I don't remember. I have seen Dylan battle, though. He is a good battler. He knows what he's doing. I've actually seen him battle in the PMU. He knows what he's doing. He's good prep. He knows what he's doing. So, I couldn't rank him higher because I didn't know how I wanted to rank new coaches in with the returning coaches, but I didn't want a whole new layout just for 4 coaches, so I put them at the bottom, okay? Number 13, we have Houston Rockets and Scotty Dr. Pepper. Scotty knows a lot. Scotty's going to climb up these rankings. I'm confident on it. John is a very good battler. He knows a lot, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. 12 and up, we have the returning coaches. So, Pre-draft was very difficult to put because 10, 11, and 12 were all interchangeable. 9 and 8, I knew where I wanted them. And then 7, 6, 5, and 4 were all interchangeable. And then 3, 2, and 1 were all interchangeable. So these were kind of hard to come up with. So I kind of had to force myself into these. So, at number 12, we have the Joliet Lycanrocs and Coach, Pokegirl Sarah Bear, also known as Sarah. I have Sarah number 12 below Archer and Mightykiss because, A, I've seen the bit of battling she knows. She knows how to battle, she knows how to prep, she knows how to battle. I do believe, though, her biggest downfall is getting rushed. I feel like, yes, everyone does have a busy life, I get that, I fully understand that. My life is busy as hell. I feel as though Sarah rushes herself to the last minute, so if she just took a step back and slowly thought about it, if she got the team matchups in her head, and then slowly thought about, what about this, what about this, what about that, this affects a lot of coaches as well, is rushed prep is what really ruins a lot of things. You cannot rush prep you can't rush prep overall, but you can't rush prep in a league that is this competitive. You have very good battlers, and if you rush your prep, you will lose. So, a key battling, or a key prep tip for anyone who's new to draft leagues, who knows draft leagues, who's in a draft league, get the matchup in your head, and start thinking about it, how well does this Pokemon do? What about this? What about that? You don't need to put it on your mind 24/7, but have it in the back in case you have a little bit of downtime. That's how I like to prep. I feel like Sarah, if she didn't rush herself, and she just took a little bit more time to go a little bit in depth, she could kill the competition. Sarah is a very strong battler, she knows what she's doing, but, I don't know, I feel like there's just a piece missing, that if she were just to smooth it out, she will fly up these rankings. Number 11, we have the Tennessee Trevenants and Coach Matt Archer. Matt, I got the honor to face twice last season, and he definitely knows what he's doing. He's a coach you cannot underestimate, because he will beat you. He took down the likes of Panther, and he took down a couple other people as well last season. I can't remember who he beat, but I know he beat Panther. I don't remember who else he beat last season. But you cannot underestimate him. He may not come off as the biggest threat when you look at his drafts or his previous battles, but if you underestimate him, he will whoop you. And that goes to say for a lot of these coaches, you can't underestimate your opponents, because they will whoop you. My thing with Matt is, it kind of ties into Sarah, and that's why I had them interchanged. The only reason I put Sarah at 12 is because I didn't see her fully last season, because she did get dropped mid-season. That's why Matt is at 11, because he has been in for a few seasons. I feel like with Matt and Sarah, if Matt just goes a little bit more in depth and thinks about what he's doing, why he's doing it, what are the consequences of what could happen, and in prep, if he thought a little bit deeper about certain things, then he could very well climb up these rankings as well. The thing I bring this up against Matt is last season he had Dragalge, and Dragalge ripped through my team. I ran the calcs, I've shown the calcs to people. Dragalge ripped through my draft last season. I played him twice, he didn't bring it either time. And I'm convinced if he brought Dragalge, he could have won both of those matches against me and knocked me out of playoffs. I think, though, near the end of the season, he got a little bit rushed, but in the first game, he even admitted himself he needs to think about prep a bit more. And if he were to take his own advice, look a little bit deeper into prep, run some more calcs, maybe diversify some EVs here, and really think about your matchup, he is a force to be reckoned with, because he knows what he's doing for sure. Number 10, we have Boston Beedrills, Coach Mightykiss. I almost said the Boston Beedrills coach of the Mightykiss. Mightykiss, commissioner. Kyle had him all the way at the bottom of the seat last season. I can't put him at the bottom for multiple reasons. Mightykiss is improving over the seasons. He is not the best bat. He knows what he's doing. All these coaches know what they're doing. But he falls in the same category where it's just like, his prep is a little weird. It's not even that it's rushed, it's just a little weird. I think as though he's playing hard opponents and he's trying to, I don't even understand how to put Mightykiss. It's so odd. There's just a piece missing I can't put into Mightykiss. That's just, I don't know. Mightykiss is very confusing for me. Because I've seen him battle. He knows what he's doing, yes. But I feel as though he tries to show himself off as the big dog, when that's not what you want, per se. You don't want to be known as the big dogs. I think as though he's trying to make plays as though he is one of the big dogs, where he's not playing as comfortable as he would in, let's say, a properly built team that reflects how he plays, if that made any sense whatsoever. Let me try and rephrase that again. Mightykiss doesn't draft how he plays. That sounds a bit more sense. English is hard. Mightykiss drafts what works well together. Now, while that is a solid strategy, you can draft the best team in the league. If it doesn't fit your playstyle, you will lose. And and that is my solid belief of what has been happening to Mightykiss in the last few seasons. He drafts good mons, he drafts well around them, but it doesn't fit how he plays. Mightykiss needs to find how he plays, what he likes. If he likes bulk, if he likes offense, if he likes a bit of a balanced team, if he likes bulky offense, if he just likes straight up offense, he has to find that for himself, prove that to everybody, and draft around that instead of a team. That's what I believe will help Mightykiss in this season, is that he needs to find his playstyle, find where he's comfortable, and play from there. That's my solid belief on Mightykiss. Maybe that made more sense than what I was trying to say. Number 9, we have Nashville Infernames and Cloud Nimbus. Cloud is a phenomenal batter. Oh my god, English is hard. Cloud is very good, although his record last season does not reflect that. Cloud, I believe, made semifinals in Season 4, and was a very, very good player. And then Season 5, he just kind of flopped. His draft was not good. He had no sort of idea with his draft. What the hell was he even supposed to do? It looked like a rain team, but there was an Excadrill, but there was no sand to support the Excadrill, so it was kind of just there. It looked like a solid rain team. You know, he had the Rain Core, Politoed, and Ludicolo. Then he had Mega Amp, which under rain can spam Thunders. And then he had Staraptor and Azumarill, which Azumarill loves the rain. Choice banded Rain Waterfalls for days. Staraptor is a very good late game cleaner. But then it just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. There was no synergy, there was no nothing there. He just kind of flopped. From Season 4 to 5, he just flopped like a dead fish. That's an easy way to put it. Cloud basically played like a dead fish. Cloud needs to take the advice I took Mightykiss. Find where he's comfortable. Do what he knows how to do it. And play to it. My other tip against Cloud is very good in prep, although I think he needs to find the line of what is good and what is all out ridiculous. Some sets, yeah, they work. They're shocking, they work. Good on you. But then other sets are just like, why do you have this? What is this meant to do? Why would this be useful over something like this? So I think he needs to step away from the heat aspect and the funniest or the coolest or the most intricate prep and really think about, is this actually useful? What does this actually do for me? How well is this going to fare up against my opponent? That's what I see in Cloud. And if Cloud can get back in the water from his dead fish state and get back in the water of where he's comfortable, well, I'll see him swimming at the top. So that's our bottom half. Let's get into our top half. Now, my number 8 is going to shock many. I am confident on this one, but I am bold, dead set. When I was told I need to do pre-draft, I knew where I wanted this number 8 pick. I wanted him at number 8. Boston Buzzballs, that's who it was. Number 8, we have Boston Buzzballs and the Banded Caterpie. two-time APA champion, sitting at number 8. In the pre-draft last season, he was number 2, and he fell to number 8. Why is that? Corey has not proved himself to me. He has not proved to me that he is a good battler. Is Corey a good battler? Yes, I've seen him battle. He can make plays, but he has not proved that to me. We were talking last season, and his attitude towards leagues is do good enough to make it to playoffs and then go all in playoffs. No. Never. Bad. Never have that mindset. If you go mediocre in regular season, you will pull what Corey did and you won't even make playoffs. The two-time champion didn't even make playoffs last season. That's almost embarrassing to me. You killed 2 seasons in a row and then you didn't even make playoffs. That to me is ridiculous. I believe it's that attitude, and he also says quick prep. Don't overlook it. That I also find wrong. You need to... Can that work? Yes, it's worked from the past. He's won many leagues. Good on you. But in a competition league that has huge competitors, that attitude won't work here. It won't work anymore. Maybe it worked in Season 3 and Season 4 for you, but it's not going to work here. It's not going to work anymore. You have huge competitors. 7-1 are all huge competitors. And if you use that mindset against any of these top 7, or even of the bottom 9 to 16, you could easily lose again. I want Corey to prove himself to me. I want Corey to show me why he won Season 3 and Season 4. His draft last season was bad. There's no other way to put it. It was bad. Corey, what I've noticed with him is he likes to draft lower tiers first and then go for higher tiers, which isn't a bad idea, but it's not a good idea. You need to space yourself out about getting what picks are priorities. Last season, there were 20 coaches that drafted in the beginning. Corey almost didn't end up with a tier 1. He had to pick from like Tracheon, I think Wobbuffet was tier 1 because Shadow Tag's allowed, Gothitelle, and something else. He lost out on every good tier 1, except for maybe Gothitelle, and he ended up getting Tracheon, which kind of worked if he would have brought it to more matches and if we would have used it more effectively. Corey needs to prioritize what he's drafting. Instead of going for the lower tier best threats and then coming back for tier 1, he needs to think, what am I building here? What am I building around? How am I trying to play this? What is a priority? What can I replace? What can I have backups for? What do I need? It's not that going for lower tiers is a bad thing, it's that he's prioritizing things that are important. That's my pick on Caterpie. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't seen enough Caterpie. Prove it to me. Prove me wrong. Make me look like a fool in my own show, Caterpie. Bring yourself back up to number 1. Show me why you're the 2-time champion. And as Shia LaBeouf said, just do it! Number 7, we have Addlestone Ampharos, and Coach Elite 4 Dan. Dan shocked me, I'm not gonna lie. I underestimated Dan, and he shocked the crap out of me. Dan's draft last season was phenomenal. He had a fantastic draft. He played fantastic last season. He finished 6-3 in the regular season, beat Mixabrew in the round 1 of playoffs, and then lost to me. However, could Dan have beat me? Easily. Had he brought something to break Registeel, which isn't even Dan's fault. His team kind of struggled with Registeel. But that's not what I'm here to get into. Dan definitely knows what he's doing. He's learned from the past few seasons he's been in the APA. He's learned a lot from taking the L's from the big dogs, learning from them, and growing as battler. That is the attitude I like. With every loss, you learn something. Whether you see it or not, with every loss, you will learn something. The only reason I couldn't rank Dan higher for this is because the other 6 have already learned that. have already accepted their losses, learned something from them, and move on. Dan, I have a lot of faith in. Watching his videos from last season, there were predictions he knew he could make, but he made the safe play instead, which is kind of what I do, where I know they're going to do something, but I have to make the safe play in case they don't. Dan is able to predict. And if Dan can just push himself to predict a bit more, get those 50-50s right, call the shots, get the momentum, take the driver's seat, and just go, Dan will win. Dan is a huge threat to deal with. If Dan can draft such a good roster like he did last season, along with everything he's learned from the past few seasons, you put that all together. You add a little bit of team prep help here, a little bit of battle skill here, you have yourself the new champion. And all of these players, 6 and above, 8 and below, they're going to be scared. Number 6, Dunford Linoons and Jock are interchangeable with Dan. I'm not gonna lie. I had Dan at 6, but I had to drop him because Jock, I don't know. I'm not confident on this one. I'm still flipping on this one. Jock I want to see more out of. Jock knows what he's doing. I've seen him play in a couple of the leagues, and he is very good. He definitely knows what he's doing. And he definitely knows what he's doing. He knows how to prep. He knows how to verify threats. He knows how to deal with threats. My only problem that has me flipping Jock around is that Season 5 didn't prove too much to me, in my opinion. He got carried by Halucha. Everyone agreed to it. We joked about it, but it's the truth. That bird did a lot of his playing for him. I'm not docking anything from him. It's just the truth. It won I'm pretty sure, didn't it win League MVP? No, it won Tier 2 MVP. It didn't win League MVP, but it should have. That thing brought him from 1-3 to 4-3 and just brought him into the playoffs. But I feel as though he can't rely on a crutch like that. Is it good to have a great wall breaker like that? Hell yeah. It's a key aspect for a team. But Jock and Caterpie kind of fall in the same category where they need to prove themselves to me. But I feel as though Jock has more skill and more I don't know what to say here. More skill and just more experience, and I feel like Jock is able to prove it to me easier than Corey can. That's why I have him at number 6. I could very well drop him to number 7 and put Dan at 6. I'm not confident on it. 6 and 7 are interchangeable, but that's how they're staying for now. Number 5, we have Frostfire and the Irvine Infernape. Frost, I've known for quite a while. Frost is a freaking great battler. He's an interesting prep, but the reason he's at number 5 is because kind of the same reason that the next few are. And that is, well, one, the reason he's at 5 is because his prep can be odd at times. I applaud him for the Scarf Gudra in my match. I applaud him for some of the other sets he may have brought last season, but I don't know if they were the best sets that he could have brought. I feel as though Frost tries to be unpredictable instead of, what's the proper word here? Instead of unpredictable, he's trying to be, instead of being proper, smart sets, he brings things that throw people off guard, which can work. Throwing people off guard, throwing them on tilt, can work, but if your opponent knows how to play off tilt, then that's not going to work and you're bringing a Scarf Gudra for nothing. One set that really shocked me last season that I actually had to tell him to change was he tried to bring Toxic Infestation Acid Armor Rest Gudra. That would have done nothing against Panther in the semifinal or in the quarterfinals. That would have done nothing. So I feel as though he tries to be unpredictable with his prep, but it just doesn't work. So Frost needs to take a bit of what I said earlier with some of the other earlier spots, and that is, think about your prep. What is it really doing for you? How useful is it against my opponents? Is there something I could do instead of this that would be more effective? That's just my look on it. The other reason Frost is so low is because once he's on tilt, he's on tilt. It's very hard for Frost to play off of tilt. You know, once he loses a win con, or gets crit, or gets hacked, or something, it's very hard for him to recover. Yes, it's very hard for anybody to recover after losing their win con to a crit, or a missed high jump kick. Me. Frickin' blind-ass Metachamp. But you need to be able to identify what is your new win condition, what helps you take down the threats that may still be outstanding, and go on from there. If you are on tilt because of one play, you are going to be stuck on that play, and you cannot continue to move forward. The key about this game is moving forward. You must keep moving forward. You cannot get caught up on past plays. I should have done this. I should have done this. Hindsight is 20/20. Nobody cares about the past. It's done. You need to find a way to make yourself stronger. Get yourself off the ropes. Get back in the battle. Put your opponent on the ropes after being put on tilt. That's why Frost is number 5. Numero 4. Charlotte Carbanks and Coach General Tar Heel. Tar Heel. This man shocked me. This man shocked everybody. He went. This is the APA Season 5 was his very first actual league he was in. And he almost made playoffs. The only reason he didn't make playoffs is because of differential. I beat him by 1 or 2 differential. This dude is a genius when it comes to prep. He knows how to identify threats every single way you can counter that threat, what works best against those teams. He knows the format very well. He knows how to draft well, he knows how to prep well, he knows how to battle well, he knows how to identify what his win conditions are, he knows how to build wall cores that will stop his opponent, he knows what is useful, what is not useful. The only reason I have Tar Heel at 4 is because the other 3 have more experience. I have seen Tar Heel in a couple leagues. He's in the PMU, I saw him here, and I believe he's in another league right now. I'm not too sure about that. But if Tar Heel gets some sort of broken squad next season, this man's going up. He will take that crown from Hugo. Tar Heel is a force to be reckoned with. That's my warning. Tar Heel definitely knows the format. He knows what threats are in the format. He knows what ways to deal with certain threats. Tar Heel's very strong in the format, and I applaud him for that. That's honestly, this man helped me build half my teams for ICL and APA when I struggled, and this man came through every time. So, be scared or be a square. Number 3, we got my boy. Carson in the Arizona Diamond Storms. I could sit here and roast this man for 20 minutes about his battling skill, but that's not what I'm here to do, unfortunately. I asked if I could have like an hour just to roast Carson on video, but Mightykiss said no, so I guess I have to compliment him. In all seriousness, this kid is a god. Carson, while it may not come off as a very good player, or a godly player, he's a force to be reckoned with. Don't mess with him. Carson has been in many leagues. He's tried many mons, he knows what he's comfortable with. He likes fat and offense, he likes a balanced team. He knows that. Everybody knows that. He likes balance, he likes his nice little bit of fat, but he likes the meat, he likes the protein, he likes the whole steak, he likes the bit of fat on the end, but he also likes the juicy, savory meat in the middle. That's the offense. Carson knows how to draft around that. Carson knows how to draft within his style. Carson knows how to recover off of being sniped from drafts. Carson knows how to prep. Carson knows how to battle. The only difference between me and him is I'm 7-2 against him. Carson, the only reason I have Carson number 3, I was interchanging Carson and Panther from, I literally have like 3 lists where it's either Carson's 2 or Carson's 3, Panther's 2, Carson's, whatever. The only reason I decided to put Carson at 3 is because I've witnessed this live myself. Carson kind of has what Frost has, where if he gets put on tilt, he's done. He's out of it. If he's not in the right mindset, he's gone. He's out of it. He's not even going to try. That's the thing that's bringing Carson down. That's why Carson hasn't won this league yet. Carson, when he's on tilt or he's in a bad mindset, gets blown back onto his back and just whooped. You can ask him about any of his losses last season. Half of them he wasn't trying because he wasn't in the right mindset. The other half were probably off of him playing off the tilt. He was against the ropes and he got pushed back. He was done. He's out. That's how we beat him in the playoffs. I asked him afterwards, I'm like, how you feeling? He's like, he was not in the right mindset. He was not in a good mood. Which, yeah, mood definitely affects how you play. But if it happens more than not, you gotta learn how to play around it. So that's why I put Carson number 3. If he can learn to play off of tilt, if he can learn how to play at his best all the time, regardless of his mood or regardless of tilt, this man will easily win. This man will easily climb to number 1 spot. This man will easily hold number 1 spot. This man will easily win the league. I am telling you now, Carson can easily win the league if he drafts what he's comfortable with, and if he plays 100%. If he gives it his all, he will blow everybody back. We've seen it season in and season out, not even in APA. You can go back in any of Carson's leagues, and Carson is a huge threat that everybody is scared of, whether they admit it or not. That's my rant on Carson. Carson just needs to pick up where he drops on tilt. Just pick it up and push. Go. Go with it. Just go all out. Number 2, we have the Carolinical Fables in Panther 2. This man can do it all. He knows how to prep. He knows how to play. He knows how to draft. He knows how to play around certain circumstances. He knows how to play off of tilt. This man can do it all. This man is the Superman of freaking Pokemon. Why is Panther number 2 then? Well, honestly, I have more to say about Hugo, about why Hugo's number 1 than why Panther's number 2. Panther is a very, very good competitor and knows what his opponent's weaknesses are, what his opponents can't deal with, and he uses them to his advantage. For example, I use myself as an example because I am a test goat. Last season, I did not have a great way to break for Uniclus because Hydreigon, being my only dark type, was especially offensive, and Reuniclus is fat and it just didn't do enough damage. He played Reuniclus perfectly. He knew how to play with it. He knew when to switch, how to play around it. He knows how to read his opponents very well, and especially when they're on tilt. When his opponents are on tilt, you're done. If you're on tilt against Panther, you are done. You may as well just click X. You're gone. Panther knows how to get momentum and to keep momentum and not let his opponents get momentum. His opponents start getting momentum? No. Pushes them down. Panther definitely knows the format. Panther definitely knows a lot about the format. Panther definitely knows how to play. The one thing I dock off of Panther is that, what I even dock off a Panther? I don't even think I can dock Panther, honestly. I had an idea for what I was going to say about Panther, but I just lost it. I got no clue. Honestly, I think instead of docking Panther, it's just because Hugo is a Hugo threat, and that's why he's number 1, in my opinion, over Panther. So let's speak to the devil himself. We have Hugo in the Montreal Infernos, Season 5 champions, after beating me in a close match. Hugo, my Canadian brethren, is a lord in himself. Many may not admit that, but Hugo is very good at the format. Hugo knows how to use just about any... He can take about any mon that will fit with a draft and use it to its full potential. I've heard of Hugo using Mega Sharpedo to full potential in a league where it's first turn Mega. Now, normally Mega Sharpedo is bad because, you know, it doesn't get the speed boost if it has the first turn Mega. Fair enough. Hugo is one of the only people that I know who could pull that off, using it well, without having first turn, or with having to use first turn Mega. Hugo drafted a very solid draft last season. It was very odd to build for, because it seemed easy at first, but then when you get into the gist of things, his team was very difficult. Hugo knows how to tie up speed gaps, he can establish what you're bringing, and use that against you. He knew how I had to bring a Scarfer against him, because he had to make a Beedrill, which that may seem obvious, but when my Scarf options are very limited, he knows how to prep for those. Hugo knows what you're going to bring, how you're going to bring it, what you're going to want it to do, and then just counter it. Hugo doesn't need to counter your team, he just needs to know what you're bringing, and he can read that. You may as well just give him the list of Pokemon you're bringing and say, here, read that. Hugo is a force to be reckoned with. Nobody should take Hugo lightly, regardless of his draft. Even if his draft is 11 Slowpokes, he'll find a way to use Banded Slowpoke and whoop you with it. Like, dude's a genius. I look up to Hugo. Hugo is someone I aspire to be. Hugo is a very good battler. I like to learn from Hugo. Just what goes through his mind when he builds, how he plays. Hugo's a very strong battler. That's just it. How Hugo hasn't won this thing multiple times yet is beyond me. Maybe I'm just preaching Hugo. Maybe that's just it. But that's my take on it. I think Hugo can very well do what Caterpie did, win this again, and beat Caterpie. Beat Caterpie, be a 3-time winner. Hell, who knows? Maybe I'm just preaching Hugo. Maybe I'm out of my mind. This is how I see it. These are the APA Season 6 pre-draft power rankings. So if you guys did enjoy my pre-draft power rankings, make sure you guys hit the like button for the APA. And if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button for the APA, along with check out all of the coaches. They will be linked down in the description. Especially me. Go check me out too. I'm good. I do stuff. I do a lot of stuff on a lot of different things. Go check me out. I smell good. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, mine has been Pointblanke. You guys have been the beautiful APA viewers, and I'm going to get out of here. Peace! I am out.